Good Wednesday morning, and thanks for joining us from the Voice You Know with the News You Trust studio, sponsored by BASF and Certain Corn Herbicide. Unleash residual power early to allow for pre- or post-application to attack weeds at their weakest. I'm Joel Norwood, and it was a sleet-filled mess coming into the broadcast studio this morning. Overnight snow couldn't decide if it was water or ice. Do stay safe on those roads. It's going to hover right around that freezing mark, but it is going to warm up, and we will see some of those mid-50 temperatures in the next couple of days, but back to wintry weather next week. Quite a bit of news to talk about this morning, but first, our crew out at Commodity Classic in San Antonio. Stay tuned as they bring you the latest of what's happening in the national conversation. In Ohio, folks are celebrating in style as National Corn Growers Association President Jed Bauer, an Ohio farmer himself, also celebrated his birthday last night. They call it the Bauer Bash, and looks like they had a good time. But don't forget to join us on the broadcast Thursday, as the crew will be broadcasting from Commodity Classic thanks to Cropland, quality seed genetics backed by some of the industry's leading data for better fertility, crop protection, and fungicide decisions. Learn more at cropland.com. Also on Friday, they'll be broadcasting from Commodity Classic in the Meristem Crop Performance booth. Meristem Crop Performance helps farmers take cost out and produce more bushels for less. In news, the longest State of the Union address ever last night, as President Donald Trump highlighted several key policy areas with direct implications for agriculture, specifically trade, energy, and tax policy. President Trump emphasized tariffs as a cornerstone of his economic strategy, suggesting expanded tariff revenues could help offset federal income taxes in the future. That comes as the administration continues to pursue trade actions aimed at strengthening domestic manufacturing and agricultural markets. Though some economists note tariffs can also increase input costs for U.S. producers, including fertilizer, equipment, and crop protection products. But Trump also pointed to lower fuel costs and interest rates as signs of economic progress, two areas that farmers, of course, watch very closely heading into spring planting season. And on the global front, the administration signaled a continued aggressive posture toward Iran, raising concerns about potential volatility in global energy and fertilizer markets there, both of which critical to farm profitability, of course. Now, the speech covered a lot of areas, but it also comes right as a time as Congress continues to work on the 2026 reauthorization of commodity, conservation, and crop insurance programs, now being referred to as Farm Bill 2.0. And speaking of our nation's capital, U.S. Secretary of Agriculture Brooke Rollins and Deputy Secretary Stephen Vaden says they're making an announcement later today regarding USDA facilities. They're going to effectuate multiple executive orders, presidential memoranda, and more. That announcement will be made just shortly after 1 o'clock this afternoon. We'll keep you updated on what comes of that. And as we were talking about the Commodity Classic getting underway, always a time for equipment companies to make announcements. John Deere says they're rolling out 6 new high-horsepower 8 Series tractors, including 8R and 8RX models powered by the new JD14 engine with options up to 540 horsepower. Deere also updating its X9 and S7 combines for model year 2027 with expanded harvest settings automation across more crops and new green crop detection to help maintain grain quality in tough harvest conditions. And then on the planter side, Deere introducing a new dual product fertilizer system, allowing operators to apply both in-furrow and side-dress nutrients in a single pass. Stay tuned as we bring you more from Commodity Classic. But first, let's talk about the weather, thanks to Seed Consultants. Simply better performance. Online at seedconsultants.com. Ryan.
Plenty of clouds as we move through the next 24 hours over the Buckeye State. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin. Let's take a look at that Ohio Ag Weather Update. Today, we've got clouds to start over the northern part of the state as an offshoot of a Clipper system trying to exit the Great Lakes region. I think we'll deal with these clouds are rotating down into our region at least through midday to early afternoon before they break a little bit. In southern Ohio, maybe a better chance at sunshine to start, but we're watching another system come together in the Missouri Valley overnight tonight into tomorrow that I think throws some cloud cover our way. Currently, though, we're projecting the track of this system to keep all precipitation south of the Ohio River. That is a new wrinkle here. If it holds, we should miss out on most action for your Thursday, just clouds. We stayed chilly into Friday, and then temperatures start to moderate Friday late. We are mild for the weekend, both Saturday and Sunday. Maybe a few hit and miss bits, sprinkles, even a wet snowflake or two Sunday morning. Bigger rains coming the first half of next week. I'm Ryan Martin.
Thank you, Ryan. More weather online at ohioagdat.com. Also there, details about a new Farmer Bridge Assistance Program. Sign up. Our own Joe Everett dives in.
The U.S. Department of Agriculture has opened enrollment for a new Farmer Bridge Assistance Program offering $11 billion in one-time payments to row crop producers dealing with trade disruption and rising input cost. Sign-ups began on February 23rd and run through April 17th. Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rowland says the goal is to get financial relief into farmers' hands quickly as they prepare for the 2026 planting season. Producers who apply online could begin receiving payments as early as February 28th. The program is administered through the Farm Service Agency and is designed to provide support until longer-term Farm Bill provisions take effect later this year. Eligible crops include major commodities like corn, soybeans, wheat, cotton, and rice, along with several oilseed and pulses. Payments will be based on the 2025 planted acres and the USDA cost of production data. Meanwhile, USDA is also offering similar assistance for specialty crop growers with a March 13th deadline to report acres. To learn more, you can find this full article today at ohioagnet.com. For the Ohio AgNet, I'm Joe Everett reporting.
Thank you, Joe. We continue on the conversation with your farm news. After this quick break, we'll be talking livestock, show pigs, and beef. Stay tuned.
Ohio farmers are excited about the approval of Striax dicamba herbicide for in-crop soybean use. For a limited time, B&B AgVantages in Conover, Ohio, are reopening cash discounts and financing on Asgrow soybeans. This is a fantastic opportunity to return to the proven yield performance of Asgrow soybeans and the strong weed control system of the XtendFlex system. Orders must be placed and paid for by March 13th. Contact B&B AgVantages for details at 937-368-3880.
You're listening to the Ohio AgNet. Keplinger Farms outside of Springfield has been in the talk lately, especially after a record-breaking sale in early February. One single hog in that sale went for an impressive $180,000. And it's all based on the name that Keplingers have made for themselves in the show pig business in recent years. And online today at ohioagnet.com, we sit down with Seth Keplinger to get his takes on the industry and his advice for competitors.
Obviously, in Ohio, we have the OH Pigs thing run by Kelly Morgan. And to be real honest with you, I think it has been absolutely incredible, not only us as breeders, but for the swine industry in Ohio. I mean, if you get on the results at these national shows, it's time and time again, you will see the abbreviation OH behind a kid's name in the showmanship setting. So whether it's showmanship or even you get into the market hogs and the breeding stock and stuff like that, Ohio has a big thing. And I think the OH Pigs has been an integral part in that, where we have these sanctioned shows for, I think, it might be 8 to 10 weekends now a year. And those things have been very, very key in Ohio's success.
And that's Seth Keplinger of Keplinger Farms. They know what they're doing with regard to show pigs, and you can find that full interview online at ohioagnet.com. Let's talk beef and throw it over to our own Brianna Smith.
There's a new and exciting opportunity for young cattlemen across the state, and that is the Ohio Beef Youth Council. Joining me is the chair of that council, Ryan Boucher. Ryan, can you kind of tell me a little bit about your background in the cattle industry?
Yes, of course. I'm Ryan Boucher, and I am fifth generation on our family cow-calf operation. So we've been raising Limflex cattle for over 50 years now, and I've started taking over the direct-to-consumer business that we run. Working with our customers and setting up butcher dates is where I mainly do on our cattle farm, as I continue to take it over and hopefully one day run it full time.
So the Ohio Beef Youth Council is kind of a new opportunity. It's only a couple years old at this point in time. Can you tell our listeners a little bit more about what it is?
Yes. Ohio Beef Youth Council is an organization for youth any age from 8 to 22. The goal with this organization is to bring anybody that's interested in the beef industry, no matter if you raise cattle, own cattle, or even eat cattle. They want you to come together to learn about the beef industry in all aspects of it. So the goal is to connect Ohio beef interested people, if that's a good way to put it, across the state together in this organization.
So as the chair, you've got some responsibilities. Can you kind of talk to me about what that looks like?
Absolutely. As the chair, there's a lot of behind the scenes work that you don't necessarily see. A lot of meetings that we have trying to set up our competitions we've started throughout this year, and then working with sponsors for not only our competitions, but events that we hold, as well as going to events and talking, whether it's at banquets or promoting the beef industry at different events. Those are the main things as the chair that it involves.
So what are some of those events that are on the horizon, or you can even touch on some of the events that you've completed already?
Yes, just this December, we had the Ohio Cattlemen's annual meeting. And in that meeting, the Ohio Beef Youth Council joined with the Ohio Cattlemen's and local, or I should say state associations, breed associations, to handle this meeting. And at that meeting, we had a meats contest where any kid could come, and we worked jointly with Ohio State and their meat science professors there to hold this event. And we had kids compete, and it was a great opportunity. I believe we had over 50 contestants there that put their knowledge to the test. So that was a great event to network with other breed associations, with the Ohio Cattlemen's. We also have a couple other events coming up. On Saturday, April 18th, we have a salesman competition along with the OBYC, or Ohio Beef Youth Council Skillathon.
So where can participants go if they want more information on these events?
Yes, participants can go to ohiocattle.org and visit the Ohio Cattlemen's website. And in there, there's a link to the Ohio Beef Youth Council, which they can go to. And there's a monthly newsletter that they have that you can sign up for, which will have all the information for upcoming events, upcoming competitions, and things like that to stay in the loop for the Ohio Beef Youth Council.
So this is, like I said, a newer organization, and you decided to really jump into this with 2 feet. What do you think has been the biggest benefit of joining the Ohio Beef Youth Council?
I think the biggest benefit has been the connections. I think that's honestly the biggest benefit of any organization that you join. It just so happens that I love beef cattle, and this was an opportunity I saw that gave me that best opportunity to make connections.
Well, as I say, it's not always about what you know, but it's about who you know that gets you where you are. So it sounds like you're doing a great job taking advantage of making those connections.
Absolutely. And connections with Ohio AgNet and others like yourself is what makes the ag industry so much fun and so special to the people that are in it. So thanks for having me.
Well, we enjoy working with the different youth across the state as well. So thank you, Ryan. Reporting for Ohio's Country Journal and Ohio AgNet, I'm Brianna Smith.
Thank you, Brianna. You're listening to the Ohio AgNet. We talk markets coming up next.
Looking for heavy equipment but don't know where to buy? Purple Wave Auction has you covered. Always online and always no reserve. It's your destination for construction or ag equipment ready to work. We even sell semis, trailers, and fleet equipment for your operation. Best part? It's free to join. Head to purplewave.com. That's purplewave.com. Sign up for a free account and start bidding today. Purple Wave Auction, the easiest and most straightforward way to buy and sell equipment.
Today's market analysis brought to you by the Louis Dreyfus Company. Excited to bring a brand new soybean crush facility to Upper Sandusky, Ohio. Learn more about marketing your soybeans with LDC at 574-566-2113. Here's Ryan Martin.
Grain markets finished the Wednesday session mixed to mostly lower. The only place we saw green on the screen through a large majority of the day was in the soy complex, where we were anywhere from 3 to 5, 6 cents higher through the day. Most of this was predicated on Chinese demand rumors. It came out early in the day yesterday that Sinograin was out there looking for prices. They weren't asking everybody. It wasn't an actual tender, and so those rumors were unconfirmed and unfounded. Now, we did hear of some wheat trade yesterday. Algeria bought optional origin wheat to close out at the January tender price that they put out. I was surprised that the bean market was able to continue to move higher even after we figured out that these rumors probably weren't going to lead to anything. President Trump speaking to the nation through the State of the Union last night. We'll see if anything in there got the ag market excited. Here's a flash. Probably doesn't. I'm Ryan Martin.
Thank you, Ryan. And let's take a look at those overnight market numbers from Chicago. On the grain side, March corn up 2 cents to $4.29 3/4 per bushel. May corn up 1 3/4 to $4.40 1/4. March soybeans up 5 1/4 to $11.44 3/4. May soybeans at last check $11.60 3/4 per bushel, up 5 1/2. And wheat down just a bit. July off 1/4 cent to $5.82 per bushel. Markets brought to you by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance. Online at seedconsultants.com. At the Merc from Tuesday's close, February live cattle ended up a nickel, $245.03 per hundredweight is their price. April feeder cattle, 85 cents upward to $362.20. Hogs for April, $95.80 is their price. That's a $2.10 gain. May hogs right at $100.50 per hundredweight, up $1.85. And milk class 3 up by about 11 cents overnight. As always, more farm news, markets, and much more online at ohioagnet.com. We thank you so much for joining us. Have a great day. I'm Joel Penardwood. This is the Ohio AgNet.